Good morning, y'all. I'm Ali. Welcome to Little Hill Homestead. It is Monday morning, super bright and early. I just got up and I'm getting my coffee going, and it is Monday prep day for the week. We showed you guys this a couple weeks ago. It did really, really well, and so I thought, bring you along today. Since I was a little more in depth last time about like certain steps, I may dumb it down a little bit this time and just kind of walk you through it with me. Either way, we're up. We've got our cup of coffee. I'm gonna go take a shower and get ready for the day, but I like to get a couple things going so that they can be working while I'm off doing other things. So right here, we have a batch of Dutch chocolate ice cream going. I will link that video before. We use this ice cream machine like 4 times a week. We love it. It's just like a knockoff KitchenAid type. It just spins. I don't know. And then over here, I hate pointing. Boop. In our bread machine, I have a batch of dough going because we made something a couple weeks ago with our sandwich bread dough that wasn't sandwiches. And I thought, I think I can make donuts out of this. So I'm making a batch of dough, and half of it we're gonna attempt to make donuts out of. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, I've got this stuff going. I'm gonna go get dressed for the day and then come back to you guys once the timers kind of click on this, and we'll get to moving. So come along as we do our prep for the week for what we pre-defrost, what we pre-cut, what things we put into a cabinet over here so that they're not in our main pantry for this week, things we do to make our life a little bit easier for our weekly meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, and dessert for a family of 3 for a week. Should be fun. Let's go. Okay, my ice cream has 3 minutes left. I'm hoping I can beat the timer here. A while ago, well, we make our own sandwich bread. We've shown you guys the recipe a bunch of times. I make mine in the bread maker, but I found that this works a little bit easier if I'm in a hurry. I can grab one of these jars. I pre-make the mix, basically, so that I have it in jars ready to go. I dump it in my bread machine with some water, and then I add the yeast at that time because I like to keep my yeast in the refrigerator. So I was gonna show you really quickly how we do that. You have 2 options for your flour. You can use all-purpose flour, which is what I'm using today, or you can use bread flour. We make our own bread flour using Vital Wheat gluten. We get it from Azure Standard. It's not very expensive for this bag, and literally it will last you like 14 years. It goes a long way. So in each jar, I also do one other trick. I'll show you that in a second. I do 3 1/3 cups of flour. I fluffed my flour up. I fluff it really quickly with a whisk just to get some air in it. 2. I am not a precise baker. Like some of you guys are gonna be like, you need to scrape the knife across the top. And no, that's not how I riggedy. If you are one of those people, by all means, be that person. It's fine with me. The next thing you need is your salt. I'm using salted butter when I make these recently. I can't find powdered butter that's reasonable, so I've just been using regular butter when I do this. I need 2 tablespoons of sugar. If you want to use coconut sugar or something like that, you can as well. Now, the trick that I figured out is I usually add 1 cup of water and 1/4 cup of milk. Well, I can use dried milk powder, and then all I have to add is water when I go to make it. I could not find the one from Azure that we typically buy, and so I had to get some at Walmart. It's not my preferred brand, but y'all, when you have no choice, that's what you get. I've been adding 2 tablespoons in place of my 1/4 of a cup, and it's been working great. So I'm just gonna add that in there. And then the last thing you need is for each cup of flour that you use, you need to add 1 teaspoon of Vital Wheat gluten. So I add a tablespoon of this right in. If you are somebody who is baking with fresh milled flour and you're not having, my ice cream is overflowing, hold on. It slowly decides, if I add a mix in like chocolate or strawberry or anything like that, it slowly goes over the edge the last couple minutes. So I'll get that cleaned up right now. If you're using fresh milled flour and you're having issues with it rising and being kind of like the chew that you typically would get from an all-purpose flour, Vital Wheat gluten or sunflower lecithin, those are gonna be your 2 biggest things to add to get more of a traditional bread feel. So get yourself some of this. Azure has it. It's significantly less expensive than getting it on Amazon, but you can get it on Amazon too. So that is all I do. I kind of just tap it in, and now I have all of my breads ready for the week. So when I go to make my breads, all I do is put 1 1/4 cups of water at the bottom. I dump this on top, and then I just add my flour, you guys. So easy. Oh, and butter, until I figure out a butter powdered substitute there. So I stick these over on my baking rack, and then when I make my bread, my hamburger buns, my donuts, my, we use this for everything, you guys. I'm not even kidding. Hot dog buns, hamburger buns, breads, French toast. We made a cinnamon swirl bread, and we made French toast last night for dinner. Bomb. Anyways, we use this for that. So I'm going to go stick these to the side, and I'm going to get my ice cream scooped in the tub. Multitasking at its finest. Okay, so we were saying that we couldn't find a good ice cream container. So a lovely couple from California sent us these. They got them at Dollar Tree, you guys, and they perfectly fit one batch of our ice cream in them. So we've been using these for weeks. They fit perfectly in the freezer. They're $1.25. So stop looking at Amazon for something fancy when you can use these. We've been using them and they're great. Plus, if you crack them or something, they're only $1 to replace, you guys. So this is what my ice cream does if I run it too long when I add a mix in. So I try to catch it. I usually set my timer for 5 minutes less, but you know, I was busy making bread, y'all. So the last time we brought you guys along on one of these, trying to get this all at once. I was super detailed and showed you kind of like, this is how we do it, and this is how we go, and here's my closet. And we're going to be a little less detailed this time. For those of you who are new and maybe didn't see that one, I'll try to remember to link it below. My memory is the size of a pea some days, and sometimes I forget. But I also, any recipe like our sandwich bread that I was just talking about, that I have a batch going, or this Dutch chocolate ice cream that we've made before on the channel, I will try to remember to link all those below if you want to go watch those videos with more detail and the directions, instructions, recipe, that's the word. We always put the recipes down below in the description for you guys. I know you guys want a blog or cookbook. Y'all, we're 2 people. Shawn's usually not heavily involved in YouTube because he works a full-time job. So he does what he can, but there's just the 2 of us. Despite what like AI thinks, we get hiring things like every day. Like, do you have hiring needs for your company? And I'm like, bro, no. All right, there's our Dutch chocolate ice cream. I'm not gonna scrape the sides down. I'm gonna throw it in the sink, but it's okay. I'm gonna get this washed up, cleaned up, put in the freezer, and then I'm gonna come back so that we can start our list for the week. Even though we've already started some of it, I'm gonna walk you through how we do our weekly meal prep. All right, be right back. Okay, I showed you guys this last time. We have a black chalkboard we keep on the side of our cabinet just on a nail, and Shawn writes every week our menu. It's one of those weird ones because we do our grocery shopping Saturday, and so we do eat Saturday, Sunday meals that I don't prep for. I told you guys that last time. So we did crunch wraps. And we were supposed to do pork chops, but we were lazy and decided to make French toast instead, so our menu will shuffle a little bit. But tonight we're having enchiladas with rice. Our kids come over for dinner on Mondays, so that's why we made ice cream. I think I'm going to show you guys our new rice recipe. So I get a piece of paper, and I have what items I need to prep. So our ice cream is already done. Our donut dough is going. I'm going to split that and make hamburger buns. And then I got, for our enchiladas, I needed to shred some pork. I had a pork tenderloin from Butcher Box that I am going to make carnitas out of. So I have that going in the Instant Pot. If it turns out, I'll share the recipe. I just sometimes wing it, so I'm going to check mark that. I have a defrost list, a pull from Pantry. So we have a big pantry. I pull the items we need for the week and put them in our small pantry. Things I need to do daily, maybe I don't want to do today, but I need to do ahead of time, I will write on a calendar. I showed you this too. I keep a little daily calendar. I got it from Walmart for $3. And I have certain things I do certain days of the week already. Like every day I have to do Etsy orders, or every day, certain days I wash the dogs, or certain days I do this or that. So when I do this list, if there's something that needs to be done that morning for dinner, I put it on my daily list. And then if I'm going to film anything, I write that on there too, just so that I keep up on my life. There you guys go. So for tonight, we're doing enchiladas and rice. And so for the enchiladas, I already have my cheeses shredded. I have my tortillas in the cabinet ready to go. I'm getting our pork ready. And so from the cabinet, I already pulled enchilada sauce just because I was already planning for today. So for our pull from the pantry, I need a chicken stock. For our rice, a tomato paste or tomato sauce. I already have that. Let me see, is there anything else I need to grab? I need to grab some garlic because it's out in the, we have a food pantry. I mean, what do we call that thing? We keep potatoes and carrots and garlic and stuff in a closet, a root closet. That's what we call it. So I need to pull some garlic because I ran out. And otherwise, we have everything for our rice. So our dinner tonight is already good to go. Tomorrow, we are doing either hamburgers or sliders from Butcher Box and grape salad. So we need to pre-make our hamburger buns, which I already have on our list. They'll be the other half of our dough. Grape salad, I don't like to make in advance. It's just cream cheese with a little bit of milk, some sugar, and vanilla, and we whip that together in the KitchenAid, and we put it over grapes. The kids have eaten it their whole lives. It's like one of their favorites. So I will make that tomorrow, so I need to put that on my daily. Grape salad. So burgers or sliders, I will not defrost ahead of time because we like to do them maybe an hour before we cook them, or barbecue them. We'll pull them out of the freezer. So I'm not going to do anything there. Wednesday, we're having spaghetti. Shawn will make our pasta. We're having Italian sausage, so I need to pull that out of the defrost. And links. We're having zucchini. Do I want to pre-cut zucchini? I'm not going to pre-cut zucchini because it's something that's so easy to cut right then. And then Shawn will make the pasta, so I need a pasta sauce. I can't wait until our tomatoes come in and we can make all of our pasta sauces again. We ran out. We're running on like stuff from the grocery store right now. It's just not the same. So Thursday we were supposed to have chorizo burritos, but because everything there can stay frozen really easily, that's when we're going to pull the pork chops back in that we were supposed to eat yesterday. So I already have my pork chops defrosted. We're going to do some roasted potatoes with herbs and then a jar of applesauce we already have in the refrigerator. So super duper easy meal tonight or tomorrow. I don't need to do anything for it. Till tomorrow I'll cut up my potatoes and my herbs. You know what? I'm gonna prep. I'm gonna get my herbs out of the garden, get them washed and get them cut, and we'll put them into a container for tomorrow. So that's just ready to go. Otherwise I'll have to walk out to the garden tomorrow, which it's not that far. It's like right in the backyard. But they'll be washed and dried and ready. So that's easy. Friday we're gonna have pizza. So I need to pre-shred some mozzarella because I ran out. We're going to make our dough on Friday. I know a lot of you guys have asked if you can make our pizza dough ahead of time and freeze it. You can. I just prefer not to. If you do, you make it, and then after the first dries, you break it into 4, is what we traditionally do. Put it into your freezer in a ball, and then when you go to use it, you just pull it out, let it come to room temp as it rises and defrosts, and then it's ready to use. And that is, I need pizza sauce. We'll have our mozzarella. I'm going to defrost. What did we say we're doing on that? We have some lunch meat ham. That's what we are trying to use up. So we do a pizza with ham, tomato, and avocado. And sometimes I drizzle a balsamic glaze on it. But our kid who lives at home likes chicken, buffalo chicken or barbecue chicken. So I'm going to defrost 1 chicken breast. We usually will bake that and then we'll use half of it for lunch. Our lunches, I am going to defrost for today's lunch a piece of fish. We're going to do fish tacos. I already have the sauce pre-made and I already have some shredded cabbage ready to go. So that's easy. Let's see. Other lunches we plan on doing, like I've said before, we usually do like a charcuterie board because I could just pull out whatever nuts, fruit, cheeses we need to use up and then we kind of just go through those. Sometimes I will do... like if we have a single Butcher Box steak or something like that left and it's not enough for a whole family, Shawn and I will do that for lunch with like kale salad. We're going to have that one day this week. That's pretty easy though. I kind of just do that as we do it. And for breakfast, I already made a batch of yogurt yesterday. I made a loaf of bread yesterday. We were out, so I didn't have a choice. So we'll have yogurts. We have stuff for smoothies. We've got the bread in case we want to do toast and eggs. And sometimes I'll do oatmeal or crockpot oats. So it just depends on what we feel like. So I don't really have any breakfast stuff. So it's kind of a simple week. So there we go. So on my daily for tomorrow, I need to write grape salad. I'll make it in the morning so it's nice and cold for dinner and we're good to go. So my grape salad on my daily, done. Let's go get our stuff from the pantry, get our stuff from the freezer, and I'll show you how we do that. Let's go. This is a freezer we keep in our dining room. We have this weird cutout because we have a screen porch. I showed you guys that last time. So I just need some Italian sausage links. Let's see. I have bags of 2 or I have bags of 3. If I drop them on the floor, they just pop. So I'm going to get a bag of 3. We need a piece of fish for our lunch today. It's my last piece, so that is easy. And I need 1 chicken breast. Whoop. Let's see, I'm looking for the smallest one I've got. There we guys go. And then I showed you guys, this is like usually not quite so dramatic, sorry. I showed you guys this last time. We keep a list in the corner of everything we have in our freezer, and as I use things, I mark them off so I don't go to try to use them again and I'm out. Italian sausage links and fish. So now I'm out of that fish. I need to put that on my market list for next week because it's one we constantly use. So I'm gonna get this stuff going into the fridge to start defrosting for the week, and I'm gonna take you guys out to pull our stuff from the pantry. Okay, I showed you guys this last week and we had a lot of questions on it. We had, before we bought our house, they did this. This was an attached 2-car garage. Our house originally was like 1,200 square feet. They've almost doubled the size of it. And one of the areas that they did was this room. So this is now, our Etsy shop is to this side of you guys. We have a sewing machine. We have all of our packing materials. My kid games in here because it's the quietest room in the house. It's also our food pantry. So it is, our kitchen's right here. It backs up to our kitchen, but we have the space in here. This was sort of pre-built, and then we added more shelves and added the stuff to the closet doors when we moved in. So we need a chicken stock. I really need to show you guys how to make chicken stock. Shawn despises, and so do I. One of my kids does. I can't smell it, but they despise when I make chicken broth. So I have to do it outside, and I haven't done it lately. So we do have a box. You just go with it. So I have a chicken broth. That is for our Mexican rice. Then we've got garlic. I'll show you that in a second. I need a pasta sauce, which I think I'm out of. I'm out of pasta sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 of our marinaras for that. And we need some garlic. So let me grab that out of the closet. So I was telling Shawn, I said the chickens are supposed to start laying in the middle of or end of June. And I was planning on using one of our big garden trugs that my kids make. So we have stacks of them over here, but they're a little bit big. And so he said, well, let me just make you an egg basket. So look what he made me. I'm using it today to carry stuff, but it's tiny compared to our regular. Let me show you. So he made me this one. Let me show you our regular trugs. So these are the garden trugs that we normally make, but look at the size difference. How cute is that, right? It's like not quite half the size, but I told him, unfortunately, they cost the same to ship and the same to make as these, so we can custom make them for you. If you guys want an egg basket, sadly, USPS price is kind of high, so they aren't cheap to ship. But let me grab the garlic and we'll get back in the kitchen. Okay, I got our 2 garlics. Let's go. Oh, one of them's growing. Oops. I showed you guys this last time. We have a cabinet that we specifically keep like a small area right here for our weekly stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and prop all of our stuff that we need up there without dumping it on the floor. Close that up. If I had anything left from last week, I would grab it and throw it back in the pantry. And then our garlic, I keep on the island, so I'll throw that up there. Okay, I'm back in the kitchen. I have everything put away in its respective place. So our defrost list, I got everything from there. Our pull from pantry list, I got everything from there. So that's easy. Next, I need to process my mozzarella, and then I'm gonna walk out to go get my herbs. So easy, like I was saying last time I did this for you guys. It takes me about an hour, maybe just right around an hour. If I get my bread and my ice cream and stuff going first thing in the morning, then it's really easy to process when it's ready. It doesn't take much time because look, I'm doing all these other things while it's working. But writing everything down like this, putting it into an easy to grab place, it makes it much easier with our busy schedule and lives. It also, like if I have it ready to go, I'm more prone to use it. So I try to do as much prep work as I can. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here at 8 in the morning and say, okay, I got to make bread today. Oh shoot, I gotta make bread today. Now it's 2 and I haven't made bread. And by the time 7 rolls around, I'm not gonna make bread because by the time it rises and bakes, I'm gonna be in bed. So I do things early to make my life just a little easier. Anyways, let's get our mozzarella prepped and then we'll walk out to see the chickens and get our herbs. I've shown you guys this before. This is a rotary cheese grater. We got this one from Amazon. There's all kinds of brands. I'll link this one below if it's still available. It's super easy to use, you guys. It comes in a couple pieces. This just hooks down to your counter so you can't move. And then for mozzarella, I like to use the coarser blade that it comes with. So I'm gonna use that. And then it has just a handle that you pop on the back. I'm gonna grab my mozzarella and I'll get to scooting on this. It comes with some other blades. It has a fine cheese grater and then this slicer, but we never use this slicer. Okay, hold on, let me get my mozzarella. I also realized that I had not shredded our cheese for tonight. So for our enchiladas, I'm gonna use the medium cheddar cheese, the Rumianos that we get from Azure. So I'm gonna shred that and put it in its own little deli container. You guys have asked about these. We've shown them to you before. We get a couple different sizes. These ones are 32 ounce. They're deli containers. These are a thinner one that one of you guys was nice enough to send us. We usually get one that's just a little bit thicker so that they're more easy to wash. These ones are more like one-time use. But we fill them with cheese. I mark on the top when I shredded it. We have a whole video showing this. If you guys get the big blocks like this from Azure and you're like, dude, it's just too much, it's kind of overwhelming, this is how we break it down to make it a little more manageable and easier to use. If I have this in my fridge, I'm gonna avoid using cheese, let's be real. If I have it broken down, pre-shredded, pre-sliced, ready to go, I'm gonna use it. So, let me get a knife and start to shredding. So somebody was asking recently what kind of knives we use, what knives we use for what. If that is a video that you guys would be interested in seeing, like what's what on our knife rack that we have over there, let me know. I would totally do that for you if it's something you think that you'd benefit from. Today, I will say also, somebody else says, oh, you have a lot of probably unnecessary kitchen stuff, or you have some high dollar kitchen things, and you talk about being a frugal channel. I did not buy all this year. We try to be frugal where we can, but it's taken us, we've been married for 28 years. And when we were first married, no, we bought crud. But now I invest a little bit more into things because they're gonna be lifelong things. I'm not gonna run to Target or Walmart to get certain things. I will buy a higher dollar brand. So yes, on some of those things, but no, not on everything, you guys. It's just, do what works for you. Okay. Ooh. I should have probably grabbed a knife that's more appropriate for cheese, but this is right here, so. But all I do is slice it into like pieces. It fits right down in here and it shreds right up. For some reason, every time, when I'm doing this over there, I'm great with the other hand. When I'm doing it over here, it's backwards from the way I usually use it. But see how fast it goes? One thing we figured out is you have to stop every so often to get the cheese out of the barrel. Otherwise, it becomes one big clogged block. But if I do all my cheeses back to back, because I don't really care if I do cheddar and the mozzarella or vice versa, and then get a little of that cheese in the other, it doesn't matter, you guys. I mean, if you're doing like, you're not going to grate blue cheese. Like, if you grate blue cheese, good luck, right? And so we'll make 2 pizzas on Friday, so I need enough mozzarella for that. And then I might pre-shed just a little bit more so we have it for salads and stuff through the week. Like I said, if it's pre-shedded, we will use it. If it's stuck in a block, we're not going to use it. You can freeze this as well in these deli containers. Pop it in your freezer when you do your weekly prep. You just pull them out of the freezer. We just have already used all the ones we had. I don't push down on this. I just pack it loosely. And then we'll have a good amount and it'll pop right out of here. It doesn't get like compacted down in a big clump. And the best part is you don't have sawdust as an anti-caking agency on your cheese. All right, so I just do it like that. I'm gonna do this for all of our cheeses, mozzarella and cheddar, and get them in the refrigerator. Okay, I have all my cheeses done. It takes me like literally like 5 minutes. I should probably time it sometime because it's fast. So I have a full pound of, this is some medium cheddar. We have what was this? It wasn't quite a pound. 8 ounces of the Rumianos, and then we have the 2 big containers of mozzarella. We will be out of town, and so we cannot do our Azure order this month. So I am going to protect this mozzarella with my life because it means I won't get my favorite mozzarella for another month after that. Obviously, we didn't know we were going to be out of town when we planned our last Azure order. I would have adjusted accordingly. My bad. So I'm going to pop these in the refrigerator. I know who's who. You can mark them with a Sharpie too, which I mostly do just so other people in the house know what the heck I'm up to. So let me get this picked up and then we'll go pick some herbs. Okay, we're going to go get our... There's a squirrel in the yard. We're going to go get our herbs, but I wanted to show you guys we did our garlic harvest. Look at these. They're drying and curing right now. We got some decent, let me see, like this is one of our better sized bulbs. They're not great, but they're not awful, you guys. Like we'll be able to, that's enough garlic for us. If we preserve it correctly, we'll have garlic for probably close to 6 months from that little harvest that we did. We did find, I'm gonna have to go back and watch my video because we planted some we just got from Kroger and we planted some that we got from Costco. And I think the ones from Kroger did better. They got bigger, but I believe they're a hardneck variety. Next year I'm gonna plan on ordering some, but I did not get my butt in gear. Here's the girls. They're very happy to see us this morning. Hi, ladies. We haven't been out yet to say hello. So we're gonna pick our herbs and chat with our chickens for a minute. Let me set you guys somewhere. Hello, ladies. How's everybody doing today? Everybody's good. Good morning. Did you guys sleep well? You did? Hello, Bernice. You guys gonna help me pick some herbs? Let's pick some herbs. Okay, I'm gonna prop you guys in our garden bed so you can see what we're doing. Boop. If you guys get pecked, it's not my fault. So I'm doing some, what am I doing? I'm doing some roasted potatoes. And so thyme, rosemary, and marjoram are probably what I'm going to stick with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic. So I have thyme here, and rosemary's down at the end, and marjoram is tucked right here. So let's get to picking a little bit, you guys. I have some variegated thyme, and I have regular thyme. I'm just going to pick some so we can take it inside and get it washed all up. Good morning. What are you guys up to? Huh? Should we do variegated? What do you think? No, we'll do regular. We need a little bit of marjoram. Marjoram's kind of not overwhelmingly strong, but Remington, nobody wants to see your booty. But I don't like to do a ton of marjoram. Same with rosemary. It can get a little overwhelming. So I'm going to walk down to the end and get our rosemary. But here's our little... This is one of those things that when I envisioned building our chicken coop and having an herb garden and, you know, this lifestyle we live... This is it right here, you guys. Ducking down and visiting my girls. Hello, ladies. Well, can you hear their squeaking? I hope so. But, okay, let's get back in the house. And this is, when people say they're romanticizing homesteading, this is it. Isn't this beautiful? This is not how it normally is, you guys. I have chicken poop on my feet right now. Let's go pick our rosemary. Okay, I got my herbs. We gave them a quick rinse. Like I said, I will store these in the deli container, and I'm gonna cut them right before we need them for our potatoes. But it makes my life just easier when they're ready to go. I have them washed and ready. So we've got our herbs and our mozzarella done. I'm gonna film Spanish rice, or Mexican rice today, but I'll do it in a separate video. And same with our donuts. That will be a separate video as well. So be on the lookout for those. And then my hamburger buns will be part of that. So there you guys go. I know some people, some other YouTubers, when they do their daily kitchen prep, make it seem daunting, and there's so many extra recipes and things. If you do this on the weekly, like last week, I don't have to make granola this week because I did it last week. I don't have to make ranch dressing because I did it last week. I made sour cream last week, so I don't have to do it this week because I made 2 jars worth. So if you do little extra things each week, then it just makes it that much easier each week to keep up with it all. Because I know cooking 3 meals a day plus from scratch can be a lot of time in the kitchen. But if you do it right, it's really not. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed coming along with us. And if you like these types of videos, like I said, let us know. I will put below our sandwich bread recipe since we did make that. I will put our ice cream recipe since we made that. And then keep a lookout for our Mexican rice and what's the other thing I was going to... Oh, donuts. That'll be in another video. But keep a lookout. We'll bring you along probably later this week. Anyways, thanks for coming along with us. If there's anything you want to see prepped weekly, like something that you need in your house that maybe like... We just did our weekly grocery trip, and everybody knows that prices are astronomical right now. But I told Shawn, I said, I have every ingredient to make homemade tortillas. I'm capable of making homemade tortillas. It just kind of is not my favorite thing to do, and it takes a little bit of time to do, and it's a little defeating because I can't always get it right. But when I look at my receipt and I spent $8 on tortillas for the week, I think, okay, that's $8 that could be spent somewhere else if I just took the time to do it. So those are the kinds of the reasons that we do some of the stuff we do. Anyways, there you guys go. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Appreciate you.